Hey everybody, it's Ansel again, and we are finally back. Sorry about the long wait between videos. I've been stupid busy. I just graduated nursing school. I currently have COVID. Everything is moving at the speed of light, but I figured I owe you guys something, and my new stabilizers just came in, so I thought, why not do a comparison video? This narration is going to be a little bit trash, and honestly, whatever, my nose is a bit stuffy, but let's get at it. I know you guys have been wanting this for a long time, and here it is. But before we get into that, let's take a quick word from our sponsor, PCBWay. PCBWay is your one-stop shop for your keyboard prototyping and other electronic needs. From CNC milling to PCB fabrication, PCBWay has it all. One of my favorite things from PCBWay is the ability to really customize your PCBs just the way you like it. Imagine you're trying to make a PC keyboard. Well, with PCBWay, you can make it look however you want, from the color to the size to the thickness. And there are even more advanced options for more customizability. Check the link in the description below to visit PCBWay today. Now, back to the video. So, stabilizer rattle. It's literally the worst. No matter what, unless I did the holy mod, any Durock stabilizer or any cherry stab I had would eventually tick over time, if not immediately, assuming that we weren't holy modding or assuming that the wires just weren't good within that stabilizer set. However, over the past couple of months, two new sets of stabilizers, Staebies and TX stabs, have named themselves kings of the stabilizer game. I'm talking 205G0 only. No holy mod, no crazy weird stuff, no XHTBDZ. These stabilizers are amazing. Now I know you might be asking, why not look at C3? Why not look at Durock? Why not look at Owl stabs? And that's because compared to any other stabilizer, these two sets have been the only ones to last so long without ticking and to sound so good right off the bat with so little in the way of mods. And I feel like a lot of people are debating whether they should get one or the other. I think TX stabs definitely has the edge in regards to popularity, but I don't really have the data to back that up. I just know that Frank from Lil's Hacks really hyped them up, and that really got the hype drumming for TX stabilizers.
Wait, what? This is not lubed. This is not lubed. This is lubed.
But enough of that. How do these two sets even work, or do what they do so well? Well, they both use very different methods and very different philosophies in terms of achieving that rattle-free sound. Starting with TX stabilizers, they mainly use a double-shot TPU and POM mixture inside of the stem housing, acting almost like its own holy mod, and the best part is, it doesn't have that same mushy feeling that the holy mod can have when you first have it, nor does it really wear off over time, or at least not within a reasonable amount of time that I've had them. But yeah, I don't think longevity is really an issue with these. They just work really, really well. Now, as for Staebies, these have been claimed to just have really good tolerances, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't totally know what that means. Maybe everything just fits incredibly well, maybe the wire is super straight, or maybe things just move very specifically. I don't really know, but the end game is it works. No weird tricks up its sleeve, just really good tolerances as far as I'm concerned. Taking a closer look at these stabilizers with the TX first, you can see how thick that double shotting is compared to a typical cherry stabilizer. I don't think there's anything else about these stabilizers that are noteworthy. They have the little stab stoppers, which are great, but they're a little bit finicky to use. The other housing appears to be just normal, but the stem is really the standout here. And in regards to the wire, it's actually pretty straight. Almost perfect if you ask me. And also the edges are chamfered, which is really, really interesting. This reminds me, and I'm pretty sure is inspired by the Korean edge grinding mod, where they would cut down and grind down the edges of cherry stabilizer wires because they were long and sharp, and would eventually wear out the insides of the cherry stabs, which actually have a little bit of film inside, kind of like Zeal stabs. Now looking at the Staebies, I don't really know. They just look good. If you notice on the inside of the housing, you can see like these little rails that I'm assuming helps guide the stem. And if you look at the stem itself, it's rounded, there's no sharp edges. Maybe this is what helps with the better tolerances. Maybe it gives a smoother feeling. Maybe there's less rattle because of that. And if you look at the wire, it's ridiculously straight, as expected from a product that claims to have very good tolerances. Also, the packaging for this guy has changed over time. If you take a look, the old packaging was like an old clamshell, very wasteful. I did not like it, even though it felt really premium. And as for the new packaging, super simple, super clean, not as wasteful. And we get these new washers. I found the old washers kind of finicky. I didn't like them. They felt really odd. I didn't know how tight or how not tight to use them. And now that they're nice and flat and just regular plastic, I'm definitely digging it, definitely prefer it. Makes it much easier to use. And that's all I got to say about the stabs from a technical comparison. Let's get to the part that you've all been waiting for, the sound tests. Okay, so what do I think? What are my thoughts? And yeah, so from a value comparison, TX wins, no doubt about it. From what I can tell, they have many more drops in greater quantities, especially through group buys, and I personally found them a lot easier to get my hands on, not to mention they're just cheaper overall. As for Staebies, they're a bit more expensive, but much cheaper than the V1s, but they do come with both wires, 6.25 and 7U. With TX stabs, you have to make that choice, and that can be a little bit annoying, but at the same time, you can probably use whatever wire you want in a TX stab anyways, and I just have a way easier time getting my hands on some TX stabs, so maybe it's not that bad. Now, how about performance? From a sound perspective, easily gotta give it to the Staebies. I think they sounded so ridiculously clean. They're both really good and both more than acceptable in any situation, but the Staebies, quite literally perfect. Now, I have had issues with Staebies with IFK, but apparently IFK has issues with everybody, so maybe I shouldn't hold that against it. But yeah, they sounded great. Again, TX stabs sounded perfect, and I would be happy with even stock TX stabs, so no worries there. It's just they don't have that same edge that the Staebies do. Now, in terms of feel, which is interesting, I found that the Staebies just felt a tiny bit sluggish and not quite as frictionless as the TX stabs, and I'm assuming this is because of their tight tolerances. The TX stabs still felt great, but I felt like on a gaming board where I'm literally spamming that spacebar, TX stabs would be my go-to. Doesn't mean that the Staebies feel bad or anything, they're still pretty smooth, but I think the TX stabs definitely had the edge there, and I definitely prefer it. So yeah, who's the winner? Honestly, it depends on you and what you need, but I think either way, whoever picks these up, regardless of who you are, they're both gonna be amazing. Obviously, you can't use TX stabs in a gummy O-ring keyboard because gummy O-ring keyboards typically only accept clip-ins for the spacebar and the backspace. But other than that, they're both neck and neck. They have their pros and cons, which can weigh you in one direction rather than the other. But overall, you're gonna be happy with either of these if you grab them. And yeah, that's the video, guys. Hope you guys never have to buy Durox ever again. Screw owl stabs. That's all I got. Sorry, I coughed there. It's COVID. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you next time, and I hope y'all have a great day. Peace.